I probably said this every Monday, but it's the truth. It was fun being with the guys this morning and getting this week started, and obviously looking forward to it. And for our seniors, last opportunity to play at Camp Randall, and you want to make sure that we give them the best chance to finish this thing out right, and know we're going to need all that because we're facing a really good, talented, well-coached Michigan team. So looking forward to this week of preparation.
Statistically, this Michigan defense is one of the best in the country. Will this be the toughest challenge your offense has faced, and what do you feel like you guys need to do well to have a chance against that defense?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, it's a very good defense, and it will be a challenge. And I think every week it comes down to it, and certainly this one's every bit that is. You got to know what you're doing, and certainly understand the different ways that they defend you. But you got to be on, and the smallest details matter. And it's a really good defense, and they're playing at a high level, and it'll be a challenge, and that's also an opportunity. And so, but we're going to need a great week of preparation, and in the end, you've got to execute.
Jeff?
Well, I know last year everyone talked about their secondary, but I thought their front was outstanding. The defensive front was outstanding last year. What do you see from their front this year, and what kind of challenges will that unit in particular present?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're really good football players, and they've got great the front, and you put the backers in it. There's great speed to it, quickness. They're strong. It's a really good players in a really good scheme, and I think they know it. And so that they're executing and they're playing fast, and so it's going to take every guy to make it work, and you've got to be on, and whether that's in running the football or in protecting the quarterback, and it's it will be a good challenge for us.
Jason?
Well, Michigan's gone through a few quarterbacks this year. What's your assessment of Brandon Peters and the way he's played the last few weeks for them?
Well, I think that their offense, they're doing a nice job right now, and they make you have to defend. They do a really good job of running the football, and I think they've got really talented backs, and obviously up front they're giving them a chance to go, and I think they're doing what he does, and he's complimenting it. He's making good decisions, and so. If you lean too much trying to stop the run, they can hurt you. And so I think they're kind of into their groove right now, and it's a good offense.
Jeff?
Paul, I think when you were offensive coordinator, you had some tailbacks here who just did not ever seem to fumble. And I know guys are targeting Jonathan; they're going after him. Is it some fundamental things with him? I know it looked like there's one they put the helmet on the ball the other day, but does he sometimes just get too loose with the ball?
I think that's fair to say. There are times when however the contact occurs, those happen, and then I think that you've got to try to work on the things that you can control, and that's certainly keeping that thing tight into your body.
Chryst James came back, had a few carries last week. How can he help this team moving forward? Where do you see his role now that he's healthy enough to play?
Yeah, well, he's got to have a great week of practice, and certainly we need guys to help share the load, and whether that's Bradrick or Chryst, they've got to do it in practice, and that position is no different than this whole team. You're going to need more guys as this season continues to progress, and Chryst has got it. I think he is back to being healthy, and he's got to step up into that.
Tom?
Well, how do you try to fix Alex's interception problem?
I think you go back and you look at what's causing it, and then you try to go about it from that way. And and so that's spent time with that, and it's not like yesterday was different than others, but I think you try to just make sure that someone's not trying to do too much, and then I think understanding what you're trying to do with it, and there's times when it's good and you pull the trigger, and then there's times when you've got to just move off of it, and so I think it's just trying to go back and I don't want to say simplify it, but try to make it a little bit more simple for them.
Well, you mentioned Bradrick. I mean, he had a good game, I think, in the opener, got hurt, has been kind of up and down. Did you see some things, at least on certain carries against Iowa, where you saw him back to where he was early in the year?
Yeah, I thought that he did have some plays, and so he's got to continue to. It's nice too when you come back from an injury and there's a point where you come back and you can go, and then I think there's a point where you're feeling like you're more back, and so you hope that, and it certainly seems like he's getting more like the latter, where you're all right, not thinking about this or that, you're kind of back to playing.
Jason.
Paul, how much of a game changer has Natrell been for you at safety this year? Replacing Leo and with the speed he has back there, how good has he been for you guys?
I think Trell's been really good this year, and like a lot of guys, as they switch to position, I think it certainly physically he's done a lot of things, but I think mentally he's trusting himself more and just cutting it loose. And I thought he had some examples of that the other day, and he's been good in all the things that you ask him to do, and whether it's the safety or special teams, he's been good.
Paul, kind of besides turnovers, the things you've done on offense are the penalties. Have you seen some improvement there? I know it hurt you again Saturday, but have you seen some improvement in the last few weeks?
Yeah, we had the one stretch where they were kind of some of the what you'd like to say are the more controllable ones, and so I think it has been better. The kids are, they don't want to do that, and we've had some of the other ones, the action penalties. You just got to make sure you're teaching it the right way, and I think guys are trying to own that. So I think it has been better, but it always is. Those are big, right? Because there's a couple times last game where, when we're going up against a good defense and it's hard to make it, 10 yards to get a first down is a challenge. And then when you put another 10 or 15 out of that makes it even more difficult. But I think they have been doing a pretty better job.
Paul, with just the timetable for Jazz Peavy and George Rushing, is there any timetable for their return to this team?
I don't know, but I don't think so. It's both different reasons, but right now I don't see it being soon.
Jay.
Well, the state high school championships are coming here this week. You know firsthand what that's all about. Can you just talk a little bit about the opportunity for not just the players, but the coaches and communities as well?
Yeah, it's I was fortunate in my senior year. We were able to make it to state, and certainly there's something special about that for these kids and the teams and the communities, as you're saying, and just on its own that you're playing for the state championship. But then I also think, being able to play it at Camp Randall, that was a big deal to all of our team. And I know it is, from the kids we recruit and you're around, even when we have our summer camp, you get kids from all over, and this is where they want to be at the end of their season. There's a neat energy that kind of comes to Camp Randall when you get all the buses dropping off the students and the people. It's pretty neat couple days, and it's we're kind of busy during it, but at the same time you get a sense of it, and whether you're going to practice or out your window, it's those are big deals, and it's a great time of the year.
Tom.
Paul, can you talk about these seniors? I think they're the winningest class or group that's going to graduate with 42 wins in 4 years, which is 10-plus wins every year. What does that say about this group?
Well, I feel really fortunate to have been with this group, and and I think they were into it enough too, where change is hard for anyone, and yet I think that it's a group that's close to each other, and I think you get that way because you go through so many different experiences. But they're like for me, and I think our staff, to be able to see their individual growth, and also what they've done collectively. I think it's a special group, and they each have their own story and kind of how they got here, and even their journey, their experience while being here. But that's why you appreciate, when they win enough games where you can extend your season, because they're a fun group to be around, and they really do enjoy each other, and yet I think they've been great in their own personalities and ways. They've been great leaders, and they've impacted the younger kids, and that's been fun to be around, and you appreciate, and it's special. And so I think that's why it's so important that the way that the underclassmen can thank them is having a great week and putting it all out there to give them a chance to finish their last game in Camp Randall the right way. But I think it's a really neat and special group of guys.
Jeff.
Paul, I know a couple weeks ago at Indiana, Ingold stepped in and got into the end zone for you, but when you got Austin back last week, what did he give you blocking against some pretty good defenders?
Yeah, I thought Ram put it out there, and it's been fun, and he's one of those seniors and I think that's when you think about that group, they're playing their best football, and they're putting it out there, and Ram certainly did that, and and Alex been good too, and but I thought Ram played really well.
10-0 for the first time in school history. Is it easy not to get caught up into that because of the approach that you've always taken, or do you think that's something that is on anyone's mind, that this is kind of uncharted territory for this program?
I think that when you're in it, it's really easy just to focus on the day and the week, and so I think each guy's probably different, but there's so much on their plate, and so I think they've been handling it well, and I don't think it's hard to do. I think it'd probably be hard to do it the other way, actually.
Jason.
Paul, after watching the film from Saturday, how did you feel Jason Urban fared in his first action at center?
I thought he did some really good things. We had I think it was the second or third snap, we had the exchange problem, with he and Alex, but I thought he did a really good job.
Getting back to Saturday, what did you think the younger wide receivers that had to step up in Quintez's absence did well?
I thought they played and put it out there, and they had opportunities to make plays, and they did. They were good.